Senator Kelly.
Thank you, Chairman. Minister, you're welcome to the House. I heard you were at the ploughing championships and I heard you were very well received down there, which is great to hear. I want to welcome the great work that you're trying to do with trying to overhaul the social welfare system. Now, I'm not going to quote all of the statistics that you have given about the schemes that are available, and Senator Naughton has already done it, but I think what we do need in your efforts, Ministers, we do need to have a change of the culture that's out there, because within some elements, going on social welfare is a job for life, and that has always and never been the case. And once you're then in the system, everything else was free to you, and that has for years has frustrated the taxpayers. As you know, I was a community welfare officer for 28 years, and I've worked with all of these people, the various types of people that are unemployed. And the ones I feel most sorry for are the ones that have been affected by the recent Celtic Tiger crash. They're the ones that are suffering more than anybody else. And the reason for that is that right throughout the Celtic Tiger era, we kept increasing social welfare. And we couldn't get the long-term unemployed of the day to go and take all of the jobs that were available. We didn't even ask them. There was absolutely no effort made by either civil servants or the Department of Social Welfare to take people off the live register. It was as simple as, we'll bring in the workforce from Europe. Now, that was grand, and we welcomed them all. But the problem now is we still have the in excess of 100,000 that were unemployed back then on social welfare of all types of payments. And we also have all the foreigners now on social welfare payments as well. And that's the problem. And I'll repeat it again. No effort was made to deal with that problem at that time. Now, if you were a minister at the time and you're trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve today, that problem wouldn't have been there. That problem would have been solved. And there is another thing that I did notice as well during that time, that, and you quite rightly said it, Minister, more and more people were becoming unemployed during the Celtic Tiger years. And again, I credit that down to the fact that we were encouraging people to stay on the dole, because we were promising every budget there was going to be an increase in social welfare. It was a giveaway during that time. So the problem wasn't dealt with. On another note, there's all kinds of poverty traps and there's welfare traps and things sometimes we do see and we don't see. But I know Senator Landy this morning mentioned an issue in relation to 18-year-old children who are told that they can't get child benefit. Now, they could be still going to school. But I witnessed as well, during my time as a welfare officer, many kids at the age of 18 just left school. On their 18th birthday, they were down at the dole office. And, you know, so in an effort to basically take on board what Senator Landy was trying to achieve this morning under the order of business, we should look at the likes of that, and that might encourage them to stay in school until such time as they do their leaving cert, if the child benefit was left with them. Now, under the pathways to work, your targets are exactly right, to ensure that every job goes to a person that's on the live register, number one, and ensure that work pays and avoid welfare traps. And I appreciate what you're trying to do with the rent allowance and, you know, and many other good initiatives undertaken by yourself. The internship scheme. There are critics of the internship scheme, of course. They will say that employers are, you know, they're milking it. But I believe that employers use that scheme to better evaluate an employee than to just interview them, because I know plenty of people, and we all do, that are brilliant at interviews, but then they won't pull their weight. And I'm glad to say that, you know, proof that this scheme is working is that 60% of the people that went onto it have now been employed. In relation to the Jobs Plus scheme, Minister, since I joined the Labour Party, I have been beating that drum, as you're well aware, that it is ridiculous to be paying social welfare to somebody to stay at home when you could offer half of it to an employer to take them off the dole. And I made the point repeatedly down through the last couple of years that if you created 100,000 jobs on that scheme, and I appreciate what Senator Mary O'Brien is saying there, we need to get the message out there to employers, because I don't believe that an awful lot of them know, but 100,000 people taken on that scheme will save 1.1 billion per year alone. So, I mean, it's there for everyone to see. There are also tax breaks for employers on top of all of the Jobs Plus thing. And I'm glad to see that there's over 2,000 jobs a month being created in the private sector. Senator White made an issue about the 3,000 jobs that we don't have the skills for in this country. But if I'm not mistaken, there's as many people unskilled or underskilled in Europe as there are as there are people unemployed in Europe. So it's not an issue in Ireland. It's an issue right across Europe. And there is only one way to deal with it, and that is to upskill people. Minister, as far as I'm concerned, there are very positive signs out there, and certainly in the cities and larger towns around the country, you can certainly see it. I know it's rural Ireland that's mainly hit. It's migration from it, which people don't mind, as long as there's a job at the end of the road for them. And just finally, Minister, I promised I was going to be brief. Just in advance of the upcoming budget, I'm going to ask you again, as I ask you for every budget, please look after the carers. And don't consider any cut to the carers allowance, because that's another area where people are providing a job that we couldn't pay for the amount of work that they put in to save the exchequer money. Thank you, Minister.